Hey yo, what's up guys? It's been a while, but today I want to go over another matchup. Matchup I think that is quite tough. It's the Gragas matchup. We're playing on blue side. Again, against Gragas, I'll be starting a longsword plus 3 potions. I'm playing my Flesh Ignite setup, so the reason I'll run longsword 3 potions as starting item is it's just gonna allow me to trade more aggressive, right? Because I have 450 extra health with the potions, whereas if I were to, for example, start a D-Blade or a D-Shield, I only have one potion. Gragas would out-sustain me with his W, and this just allows me to play the matchup a lot more aggressive, and as I'll showcase. So, what I'd like to do on blue side is invade enemy jungle right here. This does two things. First of all, we'll be able to get a ward, for example, on enemy topside jungle, and knowing where he will start, right? Because I asked my team to come as well. And second of all, we can try to look for cheese. Well, this time it works. I jump here just in case, you know, enemy jungle could perhaps spot me coming. He doesn't. We see him here. It's gonna end up. I'm looking to turn around. My team wants to go here. Perfect. We get on top of him. It's a bit sloppy, but yeah, I should just commit faster. But we end up getting a kill, losing both our sums. We get the first blood. I don't mind. It's worth it. Right. We get longsword, 4 potions. So even though we have an item lead, our approach to this matchup does not become different, right? We want to try to get in the 3rd or 4th wave crash. That way we get a good bounce back, right? We're super happy because we don't have TP. We can decide the wave early game in this matchup, and I'll show you how. So, one thing to keep in mind, and this is important, right, is knowing the cooldowns of the opposing lane that you're going against. So Gragas actually has very high cooldowns early game. His Q and his E are very high cooldown abilities. His W, I think, is like only 6 to 7 seconds, so it's quite spammable. But his E, after he lands his E on you, it's actually a 13-second cooldown, so it's very long. So what I'll do right here is I see if I can try to get a cheese onto him. I don't. It's okay. I start delaying my Q. Perfectly fine with me. And then I'll look for a trade. Alright, he uses his E. Right here, like I said, it's 13-second E. So what I can do is ignore everything here. I'll just walk up. I'm going to try and lose him some XP. Right, try and zone him from the XP. And I can just play very aggressive. And even though this health trade, right, it's not worth it. It will be worth it just because, I mean, I do have the item lead now and I do have 4 potions, but even if I had 3 potions, this would be worth for me just because I have 3 potions and I get a complete wave control like this. So I'm very happy with this. Right, he can't do anything back because he didn't have his E cooldown. It's gonna go back up around now. Perfect. Alright, they established a small CS lead and we have the wave control, right? Wave control nets us a few things, which I explained as well, is first of all, he's gonna have to focus more on last hits, where I can look to play more for aggressive trades with the dead time I have, right? Because in these windows, he's gonna have to look for CS, and I can trade or posture very aggressively because he can't really, he has to focus on multiple things, right? He has to focus on my character, focus on trading, focus on last hitting. The only thing I'm really doing is I have to focus on him. So it's very easy for me to play, on top of the fact that I'm gonna get level 2 first, whereas he doesn't, right? So it's just, that's some of the benefits you just get from getting the wave pushing to him early. So perfect, we keep control of the wave. We slow push it, right? We're not trying to hard push the wave because we want to get a 4th wave crash. If you want to get a 4th wave crash, you don't want to hit the minions too fast. Here, alright. After this minion, we pause the video and assess our wave state, right? So it's kind of centered here. The 4th wave is at the inhibitor right now. This is the wave we want to crash at. 3rd wave crash isn't the best. Let me see the gold. We have this right now. Every 3rd wave crash, we would get like a D-Blade something, which is not necessarily bad, but it's like if you want to get a 3rd wave crash, we already have to hard push this and make sure that this gets into the turret before the 4th wave is like here, right? You kind of want the minions to stand behind. It's kind of hard to get, so what I'll look to do instead is get a 4th wave crash. How do we achieve that? We don't hard push this wave. We're just gonna, you know, hit the minions a bit and just let the minions do the work, posture aggressively, try to deny Gragas from getting more last hits, and we just ride out the wave. We're trying to, you know, not waste our cooldowns, and yeah, we just posture aggressively, keep playing with the wave, and then eventually on 4th wave we can just get a crash. Perfect. Now the 4th wave arrives, so we can start hard pushing. Alright, he's gonna go for last hit. I want to cancel it. Perfect. And we get the wave in. 4th wave. As you could see right there for a split second, I need to get them. But he's at 5 CS right now. I'm at 20, 23 CS, he's at 5 CS, right? He's gonna get the full wave, but just because of how I played the early wave, right? Getting the wave, playing with it, not pushing it too hard, it became very hard for him to look for last hits, because I can always posture aggressively, and we create a super nice, you know, recall timer for us, 650 gold, we get, I don't know, another longsword or boots. Now, Gragas is also a very smart player, because he's gonna cancel me here, if I remember correctly. Yeah, look, he cancels me here, so that's really well played by him, so I'm forced to stay, but that's okay. Just because we have the control of the wave, we can just go for small, like, yeah, here we can play quite aggressive, right? Perfect, we get some small trades. What's our goal here? Just getting the wave in as fast as possible and getting a reset anyways, so yeah. We got the melee minions. These casters won't matter too much. They give relatively small gold and barely any XP, so we can just leave the casters, and here we just choose a more safe recall spot, and we get our recall off. He almost managed to cancel me again, but we chose the edge, so we're completely fine. Perfect. We go 800 reset. It's different options, right? But I love this the most. Just getting my D-Blade for the health. Very good lane stats. Another longsword. Perfectly happy. We're super strong, and we can play off this bounce. So, we come here. We're in a bounce position, right? What do we want to achieve here, right? We want to not allow Gragas to get the full push in, because if he gets the full push into our turret, he can just recall. He loses out on nothing. We get nothing really from achieving this bounce. So, that's our first goal, right? We don't want him to get the wave into our turret. Then second of all, we want to see that if he bases, we want to try to at least set up a freeze, so we also don't want to push out the wave too much. So there's like two things. We don't want him to crash, but we also don't want to push out too much. And a third of all, see if we can find an all-in window on him, right? If he makes a mistake, something like that. So those are the three goals we have in mind here, because we have very big item lead on him. So we're going to start thinning out the wave. Perfect. Didn't lose too much health for it. Here he had very good timing, well played by him, but his phase rush goes on cooldown, right? That's a very important thing to track. So, his phase rush goes on cooldown. We're gonna thin out the wave a little bit more. Alright, here, right? Now it's hard for him to base, because we could set up a freeze. Also, he's not, you know, able to push it into my turret, so 2 goals achieved. His phase rush is on cooldown, he's relatively low mana, so we could perhaps also look for an all-in. Right. We stand in front of him, right? He has no phase rush. And then here on out, we block his E. He can't run away with the phase rush. Now he doesn't flash here, and I think because he wasn't aware that my flash was still on cooldown, so it looks a bit awkward, right? Because I don't have flash, why didn't he just flash away? I think that's the reason. So there we go, we get the kill. Perfectly happy. And we get the full bounce. Push out again. And perfect. Alright. 800 gold reset. Think for yourself, what would you get in this instance? This is what I end up going for. I end up going for the call fields, I get my boots, and I get potions. And we run back. Could have waited for the refillable, but I prefer just walking around, or walking back already, so we can be on the bouncing wave. Alright, we come back to lane. Again, same thing, right? We don't want him to crash, we don't want to thin it out too much, we want to look for an all-in window. Exact same thing that we just said. So, let's look for that. Small trade, perfectly happy with that. Thin it out a little bit. Alright. We see all enemy team is topside. I think he gets a good trade into me here. Alright, well played by him. Trying to see if I can bait out his phase rush or abilities. Here's a good thing. Like a small thing, you can like it's a mechanical thing, right? But you can use this into matchups like Gragas, like Urgot. You do like a small stutter step to the right, and then you instantly click left. So right here, I'm clicking to the right, and then instant to the left, right? And then it's really hard for him to try to react to that. So here I use my Q3, I use my W and E. So in his mind, I have no cooldowns right now, right? So I use here, and then instantly he goes in. My Q is back up because I delayed it in advance. Also a thing to keep in mind, right? I'm Q delaying here. I Q extended it all the way. Third Q. It's only on 5 seconds, or full 4 seconds cooldown even, right? Because we have the call field. So yeah, we do that. That's one thing to keep in mind. Now the small stutter step here baits him to use his E, and then we find the loading window. I mean, our Viego shows up too. Perfect. Nice gank by the Viego. We get the kill. We get the bounce in again. And we can stay for 1 plate, get our item, and we're super happy here. Here, multiple item purchase options. We could go for the Iron Spike Whip and refillable. I, in this instance, love just going for pickaxe plus ruby crystal because it's just more health that allows me to stat check him more, be tankier, yeah, be stronger, right? We're very strong now already in the lane, right? This lane is kind of over. We can play it out a little bit more. Yeah, we're doing the exact same thing, not allowing him to crash into me, keeping, so yeah, like right here, it's gonna be the exact same thing, right? Just like we said earlier, 3 goals. We do not want him to crash. We want to see if we can get a freeze, and perhaps doing that, look for all-in windows. Those are our 3 goals, so yeah. Thin it out a little bit. Make his life hard. Look and see if I can roam. Alright, we get a roam off. Again, he cannot push in. We freeze it. And yeah, we can just keep doing that. We get a roam by our Renata. Perfect. I mean, after this, game pretty much ends, right? And there you go. Early game matchup against Gragas. Hope you guys learned something new. It was rather short, but I think the most important thing to keep in mind is how we play out these early waves, right? That we're just using our longsword, right, with the multiple potions to gain the edge in this wave, and then not using our cooldowns too much, but just our body to as a zoning tool for him to walk up to the wave. We're gonna get a level 3 first, right? So it's hard for him to even approach this wave. We're just slowly riding this wave into 4th wave crash, right? That's the most important thing. Then on the bounce, the 3 goals that we have in mind, we keep doing that. The correct item purchases, which will just lead to a lot more successful early laning. So yeah, that's basically it. I hope you guys learned something new.